foggy morning today, but quite beautiful. Feels like November very much. Very pretty though. It's not really cold, it's just foggy and rainy, and we are getting to see the leaves still changing. The wind hasn't blown so much that it has ruined the effect of early November. Just really pretty. This is out my kitchen window, and we are so lucky. We're getting to see the colors. And there's that beautiful red that's in one of my trees out my kitchen window. I'm so excited to see it. Of course, the leaves are covering the ground, and it's all gonna be gone pretty soon, but I'm just delighted that we get to see some of the changes. So I'm still in the process of doing the nutcracker bags for my great nieces in Dallas, and I have finished the back of my other nieces, and then yesterday I worked on the front of the niece who is going to be a sugar plum dancer, and she wanted lots of candy on her front side. And the idea is that the sugar plum dancer is kind of an ornament hanging with the candy. So I think I'm pretty well finished with it. I add details like, you know, crystals and things to kind of make it extra special, and lots of glitter, lots of shine. They really like that. And so unless she wants to add something else, which I always ask them if they do, then this one should be complete. So today I'm going to work on, like I said, the front side of my other niece, and she is a party guest on point. She will be in a purple dress, and I'll try to show the process that I go through to get this done. Very enjoyable, lots of fun. Good morning, how you doing? Good morning, are you hungry? Well, let's get this food going, okay? You'll put your water down first. Yeah, let's put your water down. Let's put down the water. You kind of messed up your blanket today, didn't you? You kind of messed up your blanket. How are you doing? Yes, how are you doing? How are you doing? I don't know what. Are you hungrier than I don't know what? Huh? Are you hungry? Yeah, precious girl. Precious girl. Scratch your little head. Can I scratch your little head? Come here. Scratch your little head. Yeah, my sweet girl. My sweet girl. We have made so much progress. We have. We've made a lot of progress. It is amazing. My little Oreo. But little Shadow, we don't know where she is today. It's wet outside, and she probably is staying under the deck. Wow, the birds are noisy this morning too. We are hazy and really wet this morning. I only lost one plant, which is good. It was the one in the corner. The frost got it the other morning, but everything else looks pretty good. Even my plant here on the table is looking good, and the plant over here is geraniums. The geranium that's out by the deck's not too good, but the red one, but the others look pretty good. And even my big plant, it didn't get it on this side, the frost didn't, but on the other side it kind of got it. So, oh my word, we even have some last minute roses. That's crazy. That's crazy. And a little rose over there. one more bloom before the heavy frost. Even my marigolds are looking pretty good. And I'm not sure if this tree out here is a maple or oak. I'm not good with trees, but it's beginning to turn also. And then my one out here in the center has really turned. Lots of the leaves have fallen off of it, but it's still real pretty. And oh, I see a squirrel. And then my rose bush out at the very, very back has really gotten with it because we had some moisture. And then there's a beautiful tree over there by the fence that has turned. So, beautiful autumn morning. So this is what it looks like when the frost gets the plants. So sad. But I don't keep them, I don't put them up because they really don't do that well in the garage over the winter. When I pull them back out, they just are not near what they were. But then on the other side, you'd never know that there was frost. It still looks great. Crazy, crazy. Come here and I'll scratch ya. You want a little scratchy poo? Yeah, 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 yeah. I can scratch you. Yeah, you want a little scratchy poo? Yeah. She's a sweet girl. Yes, she is. She's a sweet girl. She is sweet. I am crazy. I have ordered you a bed for outside that has a heater in it because we're going to get down to the 20s. We are going to get down to the 20s. And I don't know what that's going to mean for you, but I'm kind of worried. So crazy me, who doesn't know anything about animals, has ordered a pet bed that will allow for a couple of cats. So if Shadow is still around, we're going to try to keep you warm when the temperature goes down. Yes, I ordered from Amazon. Silly me. I thought that I would show the process that I go through to make the Nutcracker canvas bags each year. And I said I've been doing this about, I can't remember, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. Anyway, I try to start with a pattern that I make up myself. And if I make a mistake, I want to make a mistake on paper. I don't want to make a mistake on the bag. So I draw off a pattern of the main character that I'm doing. So since I'm going to be doing the party girl, that's the drawing that I'm going to do first. I have templates that I've made in the past, like a nutcracker in different sizes. This one is a large one that usually goes on the back in the middle. I have a template for 2 sizes of trees that I might be doing. There was a soldier one year. Both of my nieces have been the soldier. There was an angel. So this was the angel template. There was I can't remember what they call this girl, but she plays the flute, the pan flute. And there's that template. And I had 2 different templates for that one because some of the girls wanted a different pose. And then one year I did, now this is a party girl, but it's the young party girl with the petticoat underneath the dress. Here's a different sized nutcracker. Here are gift patterns, and I've kind of changed my gift pattern, so I don't really use that anymore. This one was a smaller party girl. Kind of depends on where I'm putting it as to what I have to use. And then here's a smaller nutcracker. And then one year I did the nutcracker prince, and he had to be quite large. Anyway, I have templates that I use to make the different things that I want to do. So I need to draw a new party girl where she's holding her skirt out, and that will be new for me. So I need to make a new template for that. To get the circle arc for the nutcracker font, the words. I used this, and I've just gotten this. I used to use, believe it or not, this is so silly, a pizza pen. But I found this at the store. It's a circle cut, and it gives me that perfect circle range that I need to do the arc for the Nutcracker words. And that really helps to get it centered and put it exactly where I want it. So I really like the size of the dancer in this particular one. So I'm gonna measure and see what I did for the size. Looks like she is 9 inches. So I think I don't want the party girl to be much bigger than 9 inches because that centers on the bag pretty well. So I have my Chex Mix ready, my readers, my Sonic cup with water, and then I have a picture of my niece that I will be looking at as she is dressed as the party girl. I'm going to start by measuring off the 9 inches that I want it to cover. And I'm just using, these are really good pencils. It's called Art Design. It's a 3B pencil, just really, really good. I have a battery operated pencil sharpener that I use. These are my favorite paint brushes. And I can't tell you the exact name of them or the size, but you know, I like to have kind of a large, medium, small, and super small to do details. And then to get all of my rhinestones to go on and stay, I use the Julep glue by Aleene's. And then just various kinds of fabric paint. I use the tulip paints. I've ordered Deco Art. Deco Art is my favorite fabric paint. And then, of course, I use the squeeze bottles as well, the Tulip brand. Another thing that I use that I really, really like is the Montmarte paints. They are fantastic, made in France, and I just cannot live without them. Great colors and great quality, and it does not crack on the canvas bags. They do a really good job. So I think I have the placement for the dress, hopefully in the right place, and the holding out of the arms. And now I'm going to work on the face. I'm just doing a really, really light sketch because, you know, this will change according to how it needs to look. And I mean, I do not a very neat sketch, just so I can get the placement of where I want everything to be. And, you know, doing a body, it's kind of hard to get everything lined up in equal amounts and going the right direction and all that good stuff. But we're headed, I think, in the right direction. So I do a lot of measuring and trying to get the proportions correct, and I'm just putting on the finishing details of the face. Of course, this doesn't really help me when I transfer, but if I can kind of get it drawn like the way that I want it, then it's a little bit easier to transfer onto the canvas. And I tell you, these little bitty faces are a struggle when doing them on the canvas. But really in these Nutcracker bag ballet girls, the lips are kind of the most important thing, I think. If you can get those right, then you're pretty well okay. But I really like the fact that I've got this picture to look at of my niece, great niece, That really helps so I can know how to proportion everything and get it going the way it needs to go. And looks like the lace is just a scallop here. Like I said, this is a really quick sketch of where I want everything to be. And I think I kind of got the... So anyway, here's where we're at. This is what I think I'm going to go with. So my next thing will be to cut this out so that I can actually use it as a pattern on the bag. And the reason I like to draw it off first on paper is because I just don't want to make mistakes on the bag. It's just so hard to erase on canvas. But if I can kind of get it all going the way I want it to go on paper, then it's much easier when I start my painting process. So I think I'm ready to cut. 19 inches across, and they are about 14 inches high. So my ruler doesn't go quite that far, so I just kind of have to eyeball it. I usually can get pretty close. It's usually 10 and 10 across. 10 and 10. It just helps to find the center. All right, so finding the center, I'm going to put her waist kind of in the middle so that there will be enough room for ornaments and different things that are going to go on the bag. She has requested jewel tone ornaments. 7.5, 7.5, pretty close to the middle. So once I have my template on here, I'm just going to lightly outline where everything is going to be so that I have a good idea of where to start. Oh, that ringlet hair is going to be lots of fun. I love the ringlet hair. Little satin bow on top of the head. It has been fun doing these bags for them each year. And if you want to see what bags I've done in the past, I have videos. Probably won't link them, but if you look where I've done canvas bags, you will probably see where I've worked on these in the past. And if you go to my like page on Facebook, under personalities, then you will see the photos there as well. All right, so we've got a map of where to go, and I'm going to put in the ornaments where they're going to be in relation to the body, and then I'll be ready to paint. So what I did here is I decided I was going to do jewel tone ornaments as if they were, you know, looking down from a tree or something. And so I went ahead and glued on the natural or the real little crystals. And then I set up the lines or the strings that go from the tree every 1.5 inches to each side. And remember, she's like an ornament, so she's attached to the middle here between the two handles of the bag. So I measure between the handles and then put her in the center. So what I'm going to do on the other lines that are empty is ornaments that I make, and that way there will be a variety of real crystals and then just the, you know, ornaments that I come up with in different sizes. And then at the top, I've decided to do some sprigs of pine needles. I've done that on some of the other bags above the ornaments, and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go every other string and do sprigs of pine needles, and I hope that that will look okay, as if these were hanging from a tree or whatever. So the next thing I'm going to work on is placement of the ornaments that I'm going to fill in, and that will give the jewels time to dry, and then I'll go in and start working on the party guest girl. So I have finished the front of my niece's nutcracker bag, and I think these are both ready to send off to my great nieces. You know, when I go back and look at my work, I always have things that I don't like about them. I am not good at putting bodies with paint. It always looks more like a cartoon and not exactly the way that I wanted it to be. But if I could just do the dresses, I'd be really happy. Which I did do dresses on some of the bags that I've done in the past and not had to have a face and body, but that's okay. That's what these girls wanted, so that's what we'll do. So these were the front sides of the two bags, and then the back sides. And they are ready to go. I had a good time doing them, and I hope the girls will enjoy. Mama's coming back over. Yeah, Mama's coming back over. There she goes. Yeah. Oh, you got up. You got up. That's cool. You made it up there. Oh my goodness, you're a climber. Are you gonna climb up the wall, you goofball? You're a goofy cat. She's a climber, Mom. She is a climber. She is a climber. She's a climber, Mom, and she's got cooties. She is a climber. Whoops, she nearly fell. She nearly fell. And then there's Mom over here. Mom's gonna go sit. You got all sorts of things to climb on and play on, don't you? All sorts of things to climb on and play on. Go climb on the ladder again. That's funny. That is funny. You are such a goofball. You're gonna fall off of there. And then what are you gonna do? Huh? And then what are you gonna do? Says Mom. Well, it's pretty good. She's pretty good. Oh, you both are gonna climb, huh? You both are gonna do some adventures. And then you're gonna scratch some more. There she is. There she is. Are y'all gonna play some? Oh, we're gonna play with the tail. We're gonna play with the tail. So funny. Well, off we go into the wild blue yonder. Gonna get up on that thing. Oh, nasty. Nasty. You're gonna drink out of that when you've got fresh water over here? My little baby. Little Miss Shadow that runs every time I move. There she is. Little Shadow. And if I move, I'm going to go in the house here in a minute. As soon as I move, she'll scamper off. And then here is Miss Oreo. She saw a bird a while ago, and I hope she doesn't do anything crazy. But anywho, maybe they will discover their house tonight, and they will go inside of it. We shall see. Well, silly me, I ordered a house for my adopted cats because the temperature is going to fall below 32 degrees today, and I'm just kind of scared for them. So this little house, and I got it from Amazon, it's by the brand Dotsy, and everything velcros on and the roof zips on. I should have showed how you put it together. And the sides velcro on, and then it's got a little entry where they go in, and a little pad here, and believe it or not, it is electric. It's got a little heating pad in it for when it gets really cold, and the cord comes out back at the back and winds through, and it's a bite-proof cord. There's the cord. So this is bite-proof, but not the electrical cord. So what I did is I put the electrical cord up here with my bug zapper, and when I'm ready to plug it in, I'll just take it off of the bug zapper and plug it into my outlet here. This is the only outlet that I have outside, and hopefully it will keep the little cats warm when it gets below freezing, and then they'll know to go in there. Now my husband had brought me this box the other day. It got really cold, but it wasn't like below 32, so we just put her blanket inside a little pretty thick box that they could curl up inside there. But you know, tonight it's going to get really cold, so I'm kind of concerned that, you know, like I said, I don't know anything about cats, so I don't know if they survive the winter. I don't know where they go, but for right now they're with me and I'm going to take care of them. And anyway, you can see how the Velcro goes. See, it's just everything Velcros together. The roof actually zipped on up here, and it's just the cutest little house. It's got fake doors, and it's got a front and a back door, but I scooted it against the wall because I just don't think, you know, they need 2 entry points. I think 1 entry point is plenty. So anywho, that is what I did, and this is how silly I am, and I just feel like I have a pet. So while she's here and she stays around, I'm going to take care of her, and if she leaves or something happens, this house folds up real easy into a box, and I can put it away until I get lucky again. So anyway, at night we had a possum problem the other day, so I had to oh my gosh, read about that. I mean, I've had possums before, but I didn't think that they would actually come up and eat the cat food, and it did. It was out here, and the 2 cats were just sitting here looking at the possum eating their food. So I read online, and it said take the food in an hour before dusk, which is getting ready to go up right now, and then just feed them, you know, in the morning like 8 o'clock, and then again at 1 or 2 o'clock, and they'll get used to that feeding cycle, and they'll be okay. Plus, I still want her to mouse. I want her to be, you know, a good mouse cat, so she'll have to deal with that part. And I see somebody peeking over the fence, or over the deck over there. Yep, there's those little ears. Shadow runs every time. So I'm getting into my pumpkin stuffing situation here, and I have completed these, which I may tweak the branches a little bit. Some of the branches may be a little bit too long. We wanted pumpkin gourd, you know, the natural gourds, but we couldn't find any, so I just went out into the yard and snipped off some branches and broke them where they naturally broke, and we're just going to live with that for right now. But here's the trio that kind of reminds me of the Hocus Pocus colors, or you could switch out and do a black, you know, for that too. But and I do have a black, and we put a cotton bowl on top of this one, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then for this one, I did a pine cone with some raffia. I think I'm going to add some raffia to the cotton bowl as well, and make these a trio, which means I need to make one that's a little bit smaller. But I think I'm going to put them together in sets of 3 as trios to sell at our craft show that's coming up on Saturday. Anyway, it's pretty fun. It's very time consuming. It takes a glue gun, which I have resting here on my chair, polyfill. I'm using popcorn right now to stuff, but I couldn't find any more popcorn. We're in a small town and it's just not available, so we're going to use rice, cheap rice from the dollar store. And then I have all these beautiful fabrics that we're going to work on that just, you know, yum. They just look like candy to me. So we're going to make trios out of those. And then this black one, it's kind of like a dotted Swiss velvet. That's what the black ones were. it took for me to, I got a black Coats & Clark thread. This is machine embroidery thread, which somebody said don't use embroidery thread, but I'm having a lot of success with it, so I like it. Some milliner needles, 16 milliner needles. Got those at Hobby Lobby. I haven't used this yet, but Fray Block and Fray Check, we got some just in case we thought we needed it, but right now I'm not even using it, so don't think it's necessary. I got some kitchen scissors, dollar store cheap, and seriously they were $1 for cutting some of the branches because I don't want to ruin my scissors. I cut the branches outside with a little slicing tool that I have, a little tiny saw, and it worked really well, but for inside I'm going to try the scissors, and I did use them yesterday and they worked really well. And then a marking pen. This is okay for some of the fabrics. The dressmaker marking pen. Actually, sometimes a pencil works well. Sometimes just a black pen works just fine. And then to keep my needle from going away, I have my little pin cushion. So right now I am working on stuffing another one of the black ones, and I pulled the threads, and of course what happened, it broke. So I'm having to re-baste stitch the edges, and I leave about 1/2 inch along the edge so that when you flip it over and turn the pumpkin on the inside, the edges, it kind of gives you a neat, clean edge to work with. So I'm currently finishing that, and I'm very close to getting ready to pull that together. And then I'm gonna stuff it back with this. It looks like a whole lot, but it's not. And actually when you get to the point where you're stuffed at the top and you pull it together and you tie it as tight as you can, I'm trying to leave only like a nickel size shape at the top. You still need to go in with some extra polyfill and kind of work your finger around the edge and stuff it even more so that you have a nice full top, you know, like this. You don't want it to be, you don't want to be able to push in. You want to see, and even some shoulders look really neat. This one turned out and it had shoulders on it, which I thought was kind of cool. And then of course the glue gun really secures that on the inside, and I wanted a neat, clean entryway there so that you wouldn't see any of the inside of the pumpkin, and I think I'm getting that just fine. And let's see what else. A ruler is helpful. I'm using this half circle quilting tool. This has been fantastic for making my circles so that I can get the size that I want. And even for the large pumpkin, I'm using a cake, you know, what you put up for cakes to take somewhere. And it works really well. This is a 12-inch size. And I used it for the large pumpkins like this black one and the purple one. So those are 12-inch circles. And then the rest of them are like, I believe this one was a 7-inch, and the little baby green pumpkin was a 5-inch. And I think I'm working on a 7-inch right now on this one. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we can get a lot done today. My sister-in-law is going to come and help me. And then down here on the floor, I have a sack full of branches that I can work with. And then my sister gave me these things that she didn't need anymore. And they have the cotton bowls and the pine cones. And I used the raffia off of one of the ties, like this one, to add to the top of the pumpkins. I mean, we're just experimenting and trying to see, you know, what all we want to add for a top, since we do not have the actual gourds, you know, the tops of, not gourds, I keep saying gourd, the vine on on the pumpkin since we don't have those to use. So anyway, this is my setup, and I'm using my nice light to help me do this. And again, I'm on my dining room table. It's just a good place to work, and I'm really enjoying this process. It's a lot of fun. If you've never made or stuffed anything, it's really cool because it's just takes a little time. And if you can, it's a simple sewing technique, just a based stitch, you know, to do the gathering, or a gathering stitch some people call it. And you just pull when you're ready, stuff it, tie it off, sew the top together, add your glue gun. And when I pour the glue down into the center, I'm really, I use quite a bit of the glue from the glue gun, and I'm just using a mini glue gun, so just these little tiny low temp glue sticks, and I give it a generous amount, and then just hold it for about 2 minutes, and then let go, and it's pretty well stable and ready to be a part of the little trio of pumpkins. So lots of fun and very time consuming.